YouTube, what is going on? It is your boy Cam from YouTube Media, or should I say post commentary Cam from YouTube Media, and we are back with another Gacha on the Gacha. So we are finally on version 3.4 for Honkai Star Rail. So at the time of this recording, it is Wednesday. The version update happened Tuesday, so yesterday night. But at the time, I was just way too tired. I just didn't really feel like doing any live commentary. So I figured that, you know what, I'll just sit down and record some things as far as like my summons and also a lot of the new features for the version update, and then, you know, do some post commentary and giving my thoughts and opinions on not only things that are happening in 3.4, but also I want to take some time and give some my thoughts and opinion on the third version 3.3 patch, my thoughts on everything that happened in that patch. Because to be fair, I will be, spoiler alert, there's going to be a lot of glazing in this video, because I would say that definitely version 3.3 and from what I've seen for 3.4 so far, these two patches have been the peak of 3.0 patches for Star Rail in my personal opinion. So in this video, we're going to be going over, I'm going to be doing E2S1 summons for Phainon. So that's 3 copies of Phainon and just 1 copy of his light cone. Also going to be talking about the buffs that we received for Silverwolf, Kafka, Blade, and Jingliu, and my overall thoughts on them. And also show you guys the new Firefly skin that just released as well, because I got that skin. So before we get into all that, guys, be sure to show this video some love. Like the video, comment, subscribe to the channel if not. Click on that bell icon to stay notified of all future posts that we drop on this channel. And share this video across all your Gacha different friends. Help us get to 1K sub, guys. I do plan on doing a video for Wuthering Waves as well. So for all my Wuthering Waves peeps out there, I do plan on doing a video for Baby Girl Lupa. That also might be post commentary depending on how things go. And I am still working on my first impressions video for Persona 5 The Phantom X, because I've been locking into that game. I just beat the first dungeon, and I'm also at the level now where you can start like building up your characters with like I think they call the revelation cards, so like different kits for them. So I am locking into that game, and I do want to give my thoughts on that, so be on the lookout for that. Either I want to say for the Persona video, that might come out next week, but the Wuthering Waves video will be, you know, sometime, you know, later on this week as well. So hopefully you guys are looking forward to that. With all that being said, guys, let's get on with the video. All right, so before we get into the actual summons themselves, just to real quick go over some of the new stuff that happened as a result of this patch update. I also want to apologize because I'm not going to be able to tell this until I get done editing all this footage in Adobe. But if there is some inconsistency in the video quality, I do apologize. So I recorded this on my gaming laptop, so it might be a little bit of the inconsistency between how I recorded it in OBS and here, and then, you know, on my main desktop that I use for editing and things of that nature. So apologies in advance if the quality isn't at the best quality, just because, you know, again, like I said, I was like super freaking tired, but I was like, you know what, I can at least lock in for the summons and stuff. So I promise this won't be a reoccurring thing in the future, but I do want to go over real quick like my thoughts on the buffs. So as you're seeing in the background, I'm probably gonna have footage of the trials that they have for Blade, Jingliu, Kafka, and Silverwolf. So this will be real quick, because again, shout out to the homie Braxphone. He does a way better job than I can ever think of doing as far as when it comes to like talking about like character kit changes and things like that. But for the most part, I do think that the overall, I think that I'm really glad that Star Rail is taking this direction, because I think one big thing that I can definitely say is that, like, if they're not going to be giving, because I know a lot of people have been complaining about this for a while, and I do agree that we do need a lot more 4 stars for, especially for like a lot of free-to-play players that don't necessarily have a lot of resources for summoning. It's just a lot better alternatives for them to just like chase after the next big premium unit, you know. So like having 4-star options are always a good thing, and the last one we got was Mozzie, and he came out when Phainon released. So it has been a while since we've gotten a new 4-star. And I do think that if they're not going to be giving us 4 stars, then actually making some of the old 5-star characters a lot more viable for the current meta of the game, I think is a step in the right direction. And all of them are really good, like Blade being more scaled to HP is really good. giving Silverwolf a lot more consistency as far as her ult being multi-target or an AoE, and also her skill prioritizing whoever you have first in your party slot. I think it's really, really good for a lot of teams. I can see a lot of chemistry in, you know, the Acheron teams where she's probably going to be most prevalent in. And also Jingliu scaling off of HP as well is really good. The only downside is that they didn't buff her light cone to kind of fit that scaling. So like if you want to have like a, I guess now a more recent, a good version of, you know, like the best light cone to use for Jingliu, it would be Mighty's light cone. So most likely what I'll do, because I do want to use Jingliu, because I really only just have her and the Herda for like my ice DPS units. So whenever Mighty gets a rerun, I'll probably summon for another copy of his light cone. I still have her premium light cone, but a lot of people have been saying that her best in slot right now is Mighty's light cone because of the HP scaling. And then last but not least, the reason why I started this game, being, you know, baby girl Kafka, her buffs are really, really good. Like her follow-up attacks, just being able to trigger off of anything now, not just basic attacks, is really good. And then also being able to recharge it through her ultimate is really good. The only problem is that dot teams still need a lot more help. But the next character that's coming out, I forgot, I think it's a Sirens, I believe. I think the Chrysos heir that's attached to the water titan. I don't know the name. I'm terrible with names. If y'all know me, I'm terrible with names. But yeah, so it's confirmed because if looking at the new Phainon ornament sets, it's dots. One of them is a dot support. So I'm definitely going to be somebody, because dot teams are in the dirt right now. It needs a lot more support than just Kafka and a baby girl Black Swan. So I'm really glad that dot is finally going to be receiving a lot more love next patch. Also, I do think it is kind of funny that in the same patch that they updated Blade, they are also releasing another premium wind destruction unit with Saber from the Fate collab. So I do kind of find that a little bit ironic, or just funny, or is that a little bit of a quinky dink timing, so to see. So that's it. So, but overall, I do think this is really good for the future of buffs, in my opinion, because they did confirm that they're working on Sela. Don't know when she's going to be getting her buffs, what patch she's going to be getting her buffs in, but I will say that I do think that the next if they're going to do 4, the next batch of characters that I feel like should get a buff would be obviously Sela's being one of them, Jingyuan, Fushuan, and Imbibitor Danhong. Tell me I'm not cooking. Tell me I'm not cooking in the comments, chat. I think that those 4 would be really good buffs, additions to this current, like what Star Roll is doing with the, you know, trying to revitalize these old units. So that's kind of my overall thoughts and opinions on the buffs. Let me know what you guys think. If you are because I have all these units, so obviously I'm going to try to, you know, use them. I kind of have to build them up now currently, because I have not used a lot of these units in a long time. But I definitely want to see kind of how they pit in the current meta of the game. And if, you know, we can kind of use this as a trajectory to kind of see how future buffs are going to be for other characters that need to get those buffs to kind of keep up with the meta of the game as it continues to evolve. But yeah, again, let me know you guys' thoughts. And then now I'm going to be showing you, this is again another just real quick Firefly skin, and then obviously just a little bit of her animations. I didn't take her out in any gameplay. I just bought the skin and just basically just wanted to see one of her idol animations. It's cool, little, you know, schoolgirl vibe, whatever it is. So I do wish that we would get a lot more skins. Like, I honestly feel like if we're talking, it's like there should just be a lot more. I mean, this is just this is coming from a spender perspective, so a lot of free-to-play players are probably like, I don't care, bro, because I can't buy the skin anyway. But just from a perspective of like breathing life into like old units, like I feel like for sure, like Castrus being an anniversary unit should have gotten the skin. Acheron being an anniversary unit should have gotten the skin. Like a lot of the more popular characters should be getting skins because of, you know, popularity and sales and things of that nature. Like the fact that like prior to this, the only skin we had was March 7th skin, I feel like there's just a huge undersight into how they can be really pushing cosmetics in this game. But that's just me. So yeah, with all that being said, guys, now let's move on to the actual summons, and we can talk a lot about, 3.3 and 3.4 as well. Okay, so just real quick, I forgot to mention this previously, but we did get new 4-star light cones for the premium Nameless Honor battle pass, so that's pretty cool. New stuff to work towards, kind of breathing some fresh light into the battle passes, because for the most part what I've been going for is the Phainon Remembrance light cone, because that was the newest one when 3.0 was introduced. So it's nice to know that we have some new things to work towards in the battle pass, and they also seem to have added some new stuff as well. Like I think they added you can now get you can start getting the currency to get the light cones for all of the characters now, like the standard, and also like Blade, Jingliu, and not Jingliu, Blade, and all the other characters that they put into the standard banner roster. So that's pretty cool. But going into the actual stuff, so you can see I had a lot of summons saved up for the boy Phainon, just because, like, all right, again, incoming glaze, I'm not gonna lie to you, Phainon is hands down, and I mean this is coming from someone who's like, I guess you could consider me like more of the waifu type kind of guy. Like I've already said, like my tier list as far as like how I guess prioritize. I'm using air quotes because again, I summon for all characters and their light cones. But if you were to give me a list of like things that I prioritize when it comes to summoning for a character in this game, it would be, fun. Then it would be like waifu fun, and then like waifu, then meta. So basically, is a unit fun? Yes. Is the unit a fun waifu? Yes. Is the unit a waifu? Yes. And then I prioritize meta stuff last, because it is what it is. Summoning for all characters in the game, I'm pretty much always going to be caught up with the meta, so it's not a priority in my honest opinion. But yeah, Phainon, hands down, is the coolest unit in the game, and also like his animations are absolutely elite. He feels like, this might just be a hot take, he just feels like more of an anniversary unit than Castrus is. The Castrus was like, it just feels like there's just so much effort. I mean, you could even tell that he's a unit that had a lot of prioritization put into him, because when you start the game in version 3.4, you get the little animation that tells you, like, hey, Phainon's here, go summon for him. Like they've been doing this a lot in Triple Z as well. I don't know if they do it in Genshin, but I noticed they started doing this a lot when it comes to like the more like anniversary or hype characters like Miyabi and Yishuan in Triple Z, and now Phainon and Castrus in this game. So is what it is in regards to that. But yeah, so overall, just to go a little bit back into 3.3, yes, I did the story like a week before the 3.4 version update. Like I said, usually because of kind of how I do content on Gacha and the Gacha, I can't necessarily just sink my teeth right into the story right away, because I'm doing a lot of other stuff for a lot of other games. But so I usually like get like the story content typically done within, I want to say like the first, like before, like a week before the new patch comes out. So I got through all of 3.3, and honestly, 3.3, and I haven't done any 3.4 story yet, so I can't speak on the quality of story content for what we are in right now. But I will say that 3.3 story, hands down, has been not only one of the best for 3.0, but one of the best I've experienced in Star Rail in a while. Like, I'm talking about Penacony, Bellabog, yes, it's just, to me, I don't know why, and it's not like it's anything like super like, oh, absolute cinema or something like that, but it's just like the part where they like, it's just, there was no moment in the story where I was like bored, or like I kind of think, because like if I'm thinking about like 3.2, and so the anniversary patch, and also 3.1 with the Mighty and Triby patch, like it's kind of like it was half and half for a lot of that stuff. Like 3.1, I didn't necessarily care about the Triby stuff. I didn't really care too much about kind of like her part of the story, but I really did enjoy Mighty's part. And then you get to 3.2, where it's like that first half where they were just doing all the politics and stuff. I just was not invested or interested in that at all. But I was like heavily invested in the Castra stuff, and then also once they got into the later half where like they had the big reveal with like Anaxa and like his decision as far as like continuing the journey, the flame chase journey, like all that stuff was like really cool. But in 3.3, I think all of the story beats hit. I'm also really happy to say, now I will say that this doesn't mean this doesn't make a story like any more or less better, but I am really happy to see that they are actually having a lot of like weight and consequences to this flame chase journey, because they set the precedence up with this, with the whole thing of like, oh, you know, only one will remain, you know, that being Phainon, because he's Kefli's he's supposed to be the world bearing titan, right? So it's really cool to kind of see them like actual having stakes in this, like so many deaths or people like elsewhere somewhere, like, you know, Hyacinth staying behind to, you know, protect people with the sky, and then you have Mighty with, you know, trying to stop the Black Tide, Castris remaining in the Netherworld. I will say that I was a little bit disappointed in Aglaia for when it first happened, because it was kind of like, oh, well, she got killed off screen, that kind of sucks, you know what I'm saying? Like she's an important character and her death was just kind of like, oh yeah, she passed away. And it's like, oh, okay, well that's kind of But I will say that a lot of the things that they set up in 3.3, the payoffs, I think that's the thing that made me go like, okay, this was a really good story patch. The payoffs hit really, really good. Just from the biggest thing too, because I want to get this out the way, because I was like, okay, this whoever wrote this, bro, your pen was on fire. The cipher reveal was absolutely great, and they had set it up in the beginning of the patch with like explaining her powers of like basically just make it, if you believe in the lie, it's not that she has transformation powers, it's that basically if you believe in the lie, it becomes reality. And then them tying that into the fact that like when the reveal basically being that like the Kefli's power to kind of, you know, uphold the sky was only going to be for like 300 years, and Cypher used her power to basically trick the entire world into believing that Kefli's power was everlasting, and basically tricked the entire world into believing that, you know, everything was all right, when in reality it wasn't. So it was her power that was keeping everybody safe from not realizing that Kefli's protection was done. And then even going as farther as the Spirit Thief being revealed to be Zagreus himself, and then also him going like, yeah, him having Kefli's core flame inside of him, and then giving it to Phainon, and his last words being like, yeah, you guys were saved by a lie. And I'm like, oh, that's tough, man. It was tough, man. Like I said, it's not like, oh, it's not like, I'm not saying it is like the best thing ever in storytelling media, but like the setups that they did in 3.3 were just so well done. I mean, the moment in the Sky Temple, like the final boss again, the final battle against the Titan, the Sky Titan. I can't think of the name right now. My mind is drawing a blank, so forgive me. But man, that whole city, you could tell that they was in their Duffy with that. They put their foot in that, and it was so good. Like the animations, oh, the OST, like the OST, and then like when Hyacinth uses the core flame, and then it just like switches the OST. It's like this more hopeful, like it's all like kind of like this overwhelming, like, oh, you're going up against this overwhelming force, how are you gonna win? And then when Hyacinth uses the core flame, it changes to a more like hopeful, like, oh, we can do this, let's finish this journey OST. So good. And then even the cliffhanger with it ending with Phainon, where it seems as if like, because also we got a lot of trailers in regards to 3.4 and Phainon releasing, and in Phainon's character trailer, it's revealed that like it's like this number, it's like 3,300,000 or something like that. Like it's a big number, and I think it seems to indicate that that's how many like cycles that Amphorius has been going through this whole like flame chase journey and you know, recycling thing. It seems at least that what Lygus is indicating that's happening, right? So it seems to be like, and it also like it revealed, and this isn't necessarily, I don't know how much of a spoiler this is, but a lot of people can kind of tell based on like the things that happen, like the flame swordsman is some sort of like lingering resentment of Phainon through like some of the previous cycles that they've been through, only because if you recall during the story, he kills Mighty, but Mighty only told Phainon like, yeah, if you stab him like in the back in a specific angle, he'll die. And so the only person who knows that information is Phainon. And in Phainon's character trailer, like when he interacts with the swordsman, he kind of goes like, oh, it was you, like, why are you doing this? So it's kind of obvious at this point. I don't want to say like super obvious, but like very much you can tell that it seems as though like there seems to be something to do with like maybe the swordsman is like, I guess, the lingering resentment of Phainon and him going like, all right, this flame chase journey never works. We always keep going through the same stuff, the same tragedy, people dying, all this other stuff. So maybe the swordsman's like, let's just stop it. You know, my whole objective is to kill everybody and stop it from ever happening again. Maybe he just wants to just destroy the literal Mobius cycle of Amphorius's tragic reset loop, right? Almost kind of reminds me a little bit of ReZero in that sense, right? But yeah, it's all very, very like what's happening so far is very, very interesting. I'm curious to see about like his childhood friend as well. I think that's the character that a lot of the Impact Third people are excited to see, because I think her name is like Elysia or something like that in Impact Third. I think she's a very popular character, so I'm curious to see with her impact on the 3.4 story. Like, I will say definitely like there have been times where like I'm not really that interested in getting into the story. Like I said before, in 3.1 and 3.2 is just kind of like, I guess I'll do the story. But now I might even just hop into the story after I'm done with this recording. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm very much interested to see what happens next and how everything is tying up, or what's gonna happen, because I mean the next version that we're getting more characters of the Chrysos heirs. So I'm curious to kind of see how they're gonna tie all that stuff into the overall narrative of the story. But overall, 3.3 story wise, absolutely phenomenal. Character wise, I was a really big fan of Hyacinth and also Cypher. More so Hyacinth. I do kind of like how Hyacinth feels. She's a very different healer. Yes! Even though she's a healer that hurts you, which is good for like a lot of like Blade and Mighty and Castris. Like a lot of the HP scaling teams, she's really, really good for, because of kind of how much chemistry she has with those characters. Because you know, those are characters that like want to receive damage, and she does that while also providing significant buffs and also heal. Like it's funny because it's like she's not necessarily like a healer, more so that she's just a support who happens to heal. I feel like that's kind of like a way that I would kind of emphasize her kit. But she's really interesting. I like her kit. I like her design. I mean, obviously, if you've seen any of my videos, her best team being Castris, remember Trailblazer, Tribby, and her like absolutely destroys any content that they are in. That team is just solidified GOAT. And Cypher, I like Cypher. I mean, aesthetically wise, I mean, come on now, like how can I not like Cypher? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, she's really cool. I like her chemistry with, I do like her chemistry more so with Acheron. Trying her out, like if you've seen any of my videos, I did try her with a Facial team. She's like, I like her in that team, but it's just, I don't know. Follow-up teams just don't feel as strong as they used to, in my opinion. Not to say that they've fallen off or anything. I don't want people to go like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, follow-up teams haven't fallen off. It's just, it doesn't feel as impactful or strong as like using her in an Acheron team, right? And even still in the Acheron team, I feel like Sunday might be just a little bit better. Like because my Acheron is E2, so like I use, you know, Acheron, I call him Firefox, Sunday, and then Aventurine. Sunday, I guess it just depends on what you're going for, right? Like Cypher in some instances can work a lot more because you're getting a lot more consistent prompts with Acheron's ult, and Sunday is just providing a lot more buffs to overall boost her damage. So it just depends on what you're looking for as far as like the best premium Acheron team that's currently accessible, but she is really good. She feels really nice. I think the chemistry, especially now with the Silver Wolf buff, there's just so many ways to run an Acheron team, and I think that's the best way to put it, right? Like now we just have so many options for that, you know, the debuffing Nihility team. That's really good, but if only we had, you know, a little bit more love for that with dot teams. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, I think she fits well within, if you're one of doing, you know, Acheron team or a follow-up team with Phainon. She works really well regardless, and in her ult, especially if you get a lot of stacks in, her ult just can do a lot of damage, which is really good. So overall, as far as character wise, I think both characters are solid and really good to run. As for the events, all right, now so we really only got like 2 events, that being the Galactic Baseballer event and also the what was it, the spear racing event as well. Like I don't think the baseballer event was bad, because I did mention this in my Hyacinth video that I would love more content for people to try out the new characters, and honestly that's what the Galactic Baseballer event is for. It's a way for you to try out Cypher and also Hyacinth, so that's pretty cool. But it's not like we've already gotten this game mode before, so like really they just added a couple more upgrades and stuff like that, so not necessarily like the best for like it's just not, it's not like oh wow, this was, you know, the best event ever that we've ever gotten in Star Rail's history. And then obviously the spear racing event, it was cool, it was new, it was unique, and honestly it didn't overstay its welcome. That was my whole big thing with the seal slammer thing. I just think that I thought that event just overstayed its welcome. But the spear racing thing, it was cool for what it was. You know, we get a lot of good time limited rewards, which is always good. That's one thing I will say about the events, regardless of quality, is it's always nice to get good rewards and currency and materials and stuff like that. So you'll never see me complain about that. But like, I just feel like the overall quality of the events in 3.0 have not been the best in my opinion. However, if we're substituting the quality of event for the overall story, I'm okay with that to a certain extent, because the story has been really well for these past couple patches. So like I said, it just depends. Like, let me know what you guys think. Like, what did you guys think about the events that we've gotten in 3.3 and also what we're getting in 3.0? It's just 3.0 in general. What have you been thinking about the events? Like I said, I think it's been a dip in quality in my opinion, but like, it's nothing that I'm like gonna super complain about. But I do see, if there are valid complaints, I can understand, and if there are some defenses, I'd like to hear it. Like I said, I'm open to getting my mind changed. But yeah, those are just my overall thoughts on everything that's happened in 3.3. So now I think at this point I'll just move on to, and I won't cover the whole thing. I'll just kind of give you guys a look at my build that I have for Phainon, and then also like my overall thoughts as Phainon as a character, and we'll end things here. So let's move on to that, shall we? So yeah, as you can see, so we are for Phainon again. He's rocking E2S1. Also, we are rocking. Give me 1 second as I look this up. You can hear my mouse as I'm clicking. But we're running 4-piece Wave Strider Captain. And then as for the planar, it's the new planar orbment set, the Membrance Mazes Serene Treehouse, or the Arcadia of Woven Dreams 2-piece. This, which is literally designed for Phainon, because he's the only character in the game that can make it so that he's the only character on the field, unless you do the you can like definitely niche use this on like Castress or like a Mighty or even Phainon when it comes to I think it's Apocalyptic Shadow for the Borson fight. You can use this piece because he has that mechanic where like you have to select one person on the field to like 1v1 him. So I can definitely see a use of that when it comes to that specific piece of content. So you definitely can use it for that. But this is clearly designed for Phainon. So yeah. But yeah. So other than that, as for Phainon, I genuinely, he is so fun to use. Like, I cannot stress that enough. He is the most fun character that I've played in this game in a minute. It is crazy too, because like I know a lot of people are gonna go like, what, this character, are you serious? I remember having a lot of fun, and even though it kind of sucks because a lot of content is just not tailored for her anymore, like at all. But the last physical destruction character we got, Young Lee, she was like, aside from, you know, Castress, because, you know, anniversary unit, so she's gonna be fun to use no matter what, right? Because it's just how broken she is, and the Bahamut Mega Flare stuff. She's a fun character to run. But like the last character that I was like, I genuinely like running this unit because she's so fun to use, because of how her mechanic is like built in with the counter, was Young Lee. I genuinely liked using her in a lot of content. She was very fun to run. The parrying, you know, it was fun to utilize. But Phainon, like, it's just, so the team I'm using for Phainon right now is, and I actually like this because it's giving me a chance to like revitalize a lot of units that I've been using recently. One being Bronya. My Bronya is E2S1, so I'm using her alongside, so it's Phainon, Sunday, Bronya, and Hua. So that team is really good because basically that whole team is just designed to giga buff the heck out of Phainon, and then you enter his transformation state and just absolutely decimate the enemy. And with his E2, he just gets so many turns. He's doing so much damage, and he's getting so many turns because basically his E2 is, but essentially after you use his freaking meteorite skill, he gets another turn. So like you can get a lot of stacks of just sending meteorites down on enemies, and just it's just, he is absolutely fun. Like, so you'll see, I'll probably put some gameplay of like, I take him out on like, because I took him out on Apocalyptic Shadow, Pure Fiction, and also the latest Memory of Chaos stages we got. So I'm just showing you, I think this will be, I'm just showing you like him being ran in Apocalyptic Shadow, and it's just, yeah. As you can see, the title of my video, he's him. So if you want my recommendations as someone who summons for every character in the game and their light cone, I can tell you this. If you want my recommendation, I absolutely think that Phainon is worth going for sure. He's a fun unit to use. His animations are top tier. You can feel the strength of the unit. Like, it's just, I have no complaints about him. He's really good to use. Well, I will say the only complaint, if you want to say, is that, like, I guess if you really want to use him at his best, you do need a lot of the premium support. Like Sunday is, I honestly feel sorry for people who skip Sunday because he's just I mean, he is currently on the rerun. So if you have enough currency to pull for both Phainon and you don't have Sunday, I do recommend you pull for Sunday. He is one of those units like I predicted way back when. You can take a look at my Sunday video when I was doing my summons for Sunday. I literally said Sunday is going to be one of those timeless units that like you're gonna want to summon for him because he's gonna be very impactful for a lot of future teams, and he is. So yeah, and so I guess we can kind of wrap things up for there. So the next video, definitely expect, I think Apocalyptic Shadow should be refreshing next week, so we'll take Phainon out on that. We also have the Fate collab as well. So again, so I guess I'll give a little teaser. So I have been going back and forth with if I want to E6 Saber. So if you made it this far into the video, let me know what you guys think. Should I go for the E6 Saber? Because she's a collab unit. She's a limited unit as well. So like, it's one of those things where like she ain't coming back. So I want to know, like, if I want to pop my E6 cherry and go for the E6 for Saber, let me know what you guys think. And you know, depending on the reception and response, we'll see. I'm not doing S5. That's a lie. It's too much for the S5. I will go for like E6 S1 basically. So let me know what you guys think about that. I already have Archer's light cone because I've already done the 200 summons to get his light cone. So when he comes out, he'll be E0 S1. But again, I want to know you guys' thoughts of if I should go for E6 S1 Saber. So let me know thoughts below. You know, and then overall, are you guys summoning for Phainon? If you are, wishing you all the luck. What are you guys' thoughts on 3.3? What are you guys' thoughts on 3.4 so far? if it's, you know, be mindful of comments. If you want to, don't spoil anything for story stuff, because it just came out, and you know, don't want to ruin people's experience of, if they want to do it, you know, experience it through themselves by playing the game themselves. But yeah, let me know what you guys think overall on things, everything's happening, the buffs that we've received, you know, Firefly skin for all my Firefly fans out there. You know, I want to interact with you guys, see what you guys' thoughts and opinions are. So thanks again, guys, so much for tuning in to this video. If you stuck around for the whole thing, I didn't want to do live commentary, but it is what it is. Honestly, it's a lot more easier editing post commentary. It lets me be a little bit lazier, and if you know me, I love being lazy. So with all that being said, guys, God bless, enjoy the rest of your day, and see you guys next time.